Alright, this is part 2. I just went to go get a drink of water. Yeah, man. I can easily choose to be cheap and give the actors a buffet and serve them shittier food. But I know if I do that, they're not going to work as hard. They're going to be more stressed out and they're not going to work as hard for me. They're going to be like, what the fuck? Ivan's serving us meat, potatoes, and pasta and like fucking bread and like chili and spaghetti when he can easily serve us a luxury buffet. Yes, hence why don't be cheap, Hollywood. I'm going to keep saying this. If you're going to serve the actors food, give them a buffet. Sometimes Hollywood gives them a buffet, obviously, but if you don't give them a buffet, as I know sometimes Hollywood does not give the actors a buffet, because from what I've seen on Star Wars, the actors didn't get a buffet. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you give the actors a buffet, obviously, and serve them better food. Don't serve them cheaper food, man. Otherwise, they're going to be more stressed out. They might not work as hard for you, you know what I'm saying? Whereas if you pay the actors a lot of money, you give them Three Birds once a week, and you serve them a buffet with the kind of food I'm serving them, you know what I'm saying? Like strudels for breakfast, Captain Crunch cereal, Fruit Loop cereal, eggs, nice eggs from the farms, nice bacon from the farms, nice sausages, nice pancakes, nice French toast, nice toffee donuts, and strudels. You know what I'm saying? Waffles are going to work hard for you, man. They're going to work really, really hard for you because they're getting nice food, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Don't serve them cheaper food, Hollywood. Serve them, I'm throwing this out there, serve them better food, obviously. Yes, Hollywood gives their actors pizza sometimes. I don't know, last day of filming, they might do a party, some cheesy party, and they give all the crewmen and actors pizza. They might do it, obviously, but like, for my company, the actors are getting served luxury food every day, man, for the 9 to 11, 12 months. Because it might take me longer. It might take me maybe a year to film the movie. I'm gonna ask Peter, how long will it take for me? How long will it take for us to film this movie, man? You know what I'm saying? Because even though you did Lord of the Rings, you only followed 20% of the book, and yet it took you guys almost like a year to film the movie, and you also came back for reshoots. You know what I'm saying? Because your book is long, because I only followed 20% of Lord of the Rings and my movie was long, it's going to take a long time to film your movie, Ivan. How long, Peter? I don't know, maybe a year? Okay, fine, I'll extend it. Is 12 months enough time for you, Peter, to get this accomplished? I don't mind even filming for a year and 3 months, Peter. I don't mind waiting for even a year and 3 months. How long will it take me to film the movie? It'll take a good 11, 12 months to film it. Okay, Peter, do you want to do reshoots? No, I am not a fan of reshoots. I don't want to come back to Switzerland and put another, I don't know, $300 million of my money towards reshoots and have all the actors come back. You know what I'm saying? Ivan, don't worry about it. I won't need to do reshoots. 12 months is good enough. You know what I'm saying? But Peter Jackson's obviously going to have to watch the footage, obviously, with the editors. If there's something that he doesn't like, hey, Peter, even though I don't want to do any reshoots for Zanes, if there's a lot of scenes that you don't like, I don't mind taking out more money and putting it towards the movie. That way we get a better movie, obviously. I don't mind sacrificing more of my money, going a bit over 980, because me and VJ are going to make our money back. We're going to make our tens of billions back. So it's not a problem, obviously. But I'm going to be strict with Peter, though. Peter, I don't want you doing what you did for Lord of the Rings, whereby you have actors filming Fellowship of the Ring and filming, like, Return of the King at the same time. No. I don't mind filming multiple different scenes at the same time for Volume 1, but let's stay on the Volume 1 lane. Let's not drift off into other lanes and do Volume 2, Volume 3. Otherwise, you can ruin the flow and progression of the actor's performance, obviously. You see what I'm saying? As when you read Volume 3, Tactics is more mature. Peter, I need to prepare myself mentally for that role when I'm more mature, when I'm facing the devil himself. I don't want to fucking film the beginning of Volume 1 and then film the end of Volume 3. It can ruin the flow and progression of the story. I know what I'm doing. Yeah, don't worry about it. No, is it fine? Oh, it's fine. We will film Volume 1 first, Ivan. Yes. Let's get Volume 1 over with first. I don't mind filming multiple scenes on the same day that we get that way it speeds up production, obviously. But let's stick to everything in Volume 1. And then once Volume 1's done, okay, that's a wrap. Volume 1's over. You know what I'm saying? And after that, we move on to Volume 2, and we film Volume 2. That way, the story, that way the characters. You need guys like John Boyega or Daniel Kaluuya. Don't hate me, John Boyega. Or Michael B. Jordan, or Viggo Mortensen and all them, and Don Cheadle, Ariana Grande, Zoe King and all them. You know what I'm saying? The actor for Amber, the Anansi actor. Obviously, the actor for Sirius, who was in what? Who was Saul? Most likely he's chosen for Sirius. He's perfect Sirius. You know what I'm saying? You need those actors to prepare mentally for Volume 3, because Volume 3 is when everything changes, man. You got the big climaxes. Eretad is going to war with Tactius, obviously. He's marching towards, I don't suppose, he's marching towards the north. He's marching towards the north. When he marches towards the north, something dramatically happens and it changes the whole plot of the story. And it drives the narrative of the plot, obviously. Hence why Zanus is a masterpiece, obviously. What crazy big plot? You'll find out when you read the book. That's why I like Volume 2 the best. That's why Peter Jackson, Ivan, you wrote a fucking masterpiece, man. If you adapt this kind of story to the base, you're looking at a fucking masterpiece. Something that can even top my Lord of the Rings trilogy. Yes, man, I wrote a masterpiece, man. I wrote a fucking masterpiece, man. Peter Jackson will tell me, I read your book, man. Your book is far more interesting than J.R.R. Tolkien's book. J.R.R. Tolkien's book's a fucking drag to read. Yes, it is. It's even though it's a masterpiece, it is known for being a little dry and boring, obviously. Whereas my book is not boring. You're hooked the whole way through, man. Yesterday I read some of Volume 1. I was hooked reading it. Yeah, man, my book is a masterpiece, man. It's a fucking masterpiece, man. Like, Peter, please, I don't want to do what you did for Lord of the Rings. I don't want to ruin the progression of the actor's performance. There's nothing worse, because, Peter, I need to prepare mentally for that scene when I'm in agony. And when I find out my destiny, I find out I have to face the devil himself. I need to prepare myself mentally for Ephesus and Eretad. I don't want to what? Peter, right now I'm in the zone of my character of Volume 1, Cocky Covenant. I don't want to be I don't want to be Cocky Covenant. All of a sudden the next day I have to be more mature. No, that can ruin the whole progression of the actor's performance. Let's stick to everything to do with Volume 1, then we move on to Volume 2, then we move on to Volume 3. Obviously, you see what I'm saying here? Yeah, high chance Zanus might take a year to film. Lord of the Rings took 1 year to film. They started in October of 999. They ended in December of 2000. So it took them 1 year to film it, man. It took them 11 months to film it, right? No, it took them a year. It took them a year and like 2 months to film it, man. Yeah, man. And Lord of the Rings will be a shorter movie than Zanus. Obviously. We can get accomplished in 1 year. I'll ask Peter, can we get this accomplished in 1 year? Okay, 9 months, yeah, Peter, yeah, Ivan, 9 months is not enough, man. You're gonna need a good like year, man, to film your 3 volumes, man. Your story, your movie will be longer than my Lord of the Rings movie because I only follow 20% of J.R.R. Tolkien's book, whereas we're following your whole like 600-page book, man, which is longer than Fellowship of the Ring. Yeah, your movie will be longer than my movie, Ivan, because Peter Jackson cut a lot of stuff in Lord of the Rings. You know what I'm saying? And yet his movie's trilogy was long. Zanus will be like a 13.5-hour movie, man. 14 hours, perhaps, something long. Peter Jackson, I'm like, Peter, I don't mind making a 14-hour movie. I want to do the story justice. You know, yeah, for your movie, if it's longer, the better it is. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to worry about time constraints at the movie theaters. We can easily make a 14-hour movie for your movie because you're releasing direct to 4K Blu-ray. Yeah. I can have my movie be as long. I can have a long, epic movie, like a 14-hour movie. But I don't want it to be too long. The moment it's like 15, 16, it's too long. Keep it around that. I'm gonna keep it around that 13-hour range. That's good enough. And I can release a 1-hour footage of special edition for the movies, if you want, right? So if my movie is 14 hours long, I'll cut it down to 12.5 or 13 hours, and I'll release an extended edition of behind the scenes bonus material of the behind the scenes of the editors editing the special edition, obviously, interviewing me and all them, and as well as a 1-hour footage of the movie, extra footage for the movie. You can do that for the world to buy, obviously. And me and VJ will make our money, obviously. Peter, please, I don't want to film. I don't want to do what you did for Lord of the Rings, whereby you're filming. I remember Elijah Wood. He's a guy. It was very tough for me. It was very tough for me to what? To constantly change what? To change characters for my character of Frodo. Yeah. Because Frodo is not the same Frodo he is in Return of the King than he is in Fellowship of the Ring. Fellowship of the Ring, he's an innocent hobbit. He doesn't know about the ring. He's not corrupted by the ring in Fellowship of the Ring. And then Two Towers in Return of the King is when Frodo starts to get corrupted by the ring, obviously. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's difficult to do that. Peter, please. When you write a book, yes, all the actors progressing character, obviously, in Volume 3. I don't want to have them constantly changing their character moods and jumping back and forth for fucking Volume 1. No. Film all of Volume 1 first. I don't mind us filming others. I don't know, you can have... Peter, I want you... All the scenes that I'm in, obviously, I want you to direct my scenes, obviously. Yeah, Ivan, I want to direct I want to direct all the scenes that you're in with John Boyega and all them, and Avon Joji or the other guy, all the other guys, whoever I choose, right? And I can have Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and assist Guillermo del Toro direct the prologue, direct some stuff in the prologue, and Peter directs some stuff in the prologue, obviously. Take stress off him, obviously. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind him. I don't mind us directing multiple. Peter, what do you think? What do you think is the best way to film? Do you want to just do one scene at a time, or do you want to film multiple scenes at the same time? I don't know, Ivan. I don't mind filming multiple scenes at the same time. We can get production done faster, obviously. But if you do that, Peter, I want you telling all the first director, second director, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and Guillermo del Toro your vision for all those scenes. That way they know. And that's why I want all the guys studying his notes, obviously. That way they know, obviously. I don't know. While Guillermo del Toro is filming Young Tacitus, there's a high chance I will not do that. The high chance we'll start filming the prologue first, and then Peter, I think it's best to not just jump around and film all these different scenes. No, let's film the story. Let's film the progression of the volume. We start off with the prologue. The prologue will only take a good 3 weeks to film, 3.5 weeks to film around there, a month maybe, and then we film Young Tacitus for another month, 3.5 weeks, and we film the rest of Volume 1. That's why, yeah, it will take me a good, probably a year to film all that, man. I don't know, 4 months per volume around there. Yeah. Okay, Peter. To speed up production, don't do more than 14 takes, man. 10, 12, 13, 14 takes is good enough. Unless the scene is really bad and you really want to perfect the scene. I don't mind you going a bit over 14 sometimes. But don't be doing that for every scene, otherwise you're going to stall production. I don't want you doing something crazy like 50 takes per scene. No. We hired the best actors in Hollywood for a movie. They're professional Hollywood actors. They know what they're doing. Let's do a good 14 takes per scene and we move on to the next scene. We start the prologue off with the sunset, obviously. You know what I'm saying? And Sarah's in her chamber. She's about to give birth to Tacitus. Your son's about to be born, my queen. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, where's Tacitus? Yeah, Tacitus went off to get some. He went off. He mentioned something about getting some fresh air. And where is he? He must be at the walls. And then you get this zooming in of his foot walking up the stairs. And you get the picture of his back, and everyone they're like, Your Highness. And he walks along the wall, on top of the wall, obviously. He's enjoying the scenery, obviously, and he sees a demonic figure in the south staring at him, and then it disappears quickly, obviously. The guards don't see it, but he sees it, obviously. His eyes flash blue, obviously, and then Maramis, and I'm like, my Lord Tacitus, my king, you know what I'm saying? And what is it? He's like, your son's about to be born. Quick, you don't want to miss your son's birth. I'm paraphrasing, you know what I'm saying? He's like, I'll be there, and I'm saying, he's like, he looks to the sky, and there's a face staring at him in the north, obviously, for a quick second, obviously, and it gives him a serious stare. He's like, it's time. You know what I'm saying? And Tacitus rides back to the castle, and Tacitus is about to be born. You get this beautiful music, obviously. You get the biology of Sarah's womb with the baby, obviously, and then you see Sarah screaming, obviously, and I'll do a scene when Tacitus is about to be born. You see it from his perspective, from his eyes, from Tacitus the baby's eyes. All of them are looking, and the camera is facing all the spectators staring at Sarah, obviously, and from Tacitus' point of view. And you get this song. He's about to be born, and you show Sarah screaming. Yeah, that's my idea. A biology and Tacitus' womb, obviously, and you get what. And then when Tacitus is born, you get the eagles cawing. You get the eagles crying. The bird cries, right? The eagles cry because the king, the Prince of Xenos is born. Something like Lion King, something similar like Lion King. Remember how all the animals bow down? Yeah. When Tacitus is born, I'll do a thing where all of them bow down, my prince. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, something cool. In the book, they don't bow down, but I have them bow down in the movie to make it more interesting. You can do that if you want. And then the eagles have their bird cries in the north, obviously. And I might even have a scene where you have the stags in the northern mountains. Whenever Tacitus is born, the stags are happy, obviously, and the birds are happy in the north, in the northern Gilead Mountains, obviously. And the eagles are how you have the eagle's bird cry because the Prince of Xenos is born. The lucky generation, obviously. Yeah, you're creative. Yes, I am. I know what I'm doing, man. I'm very creative. In other words, when Tacitus is born, even when Tacitus is born, I don't know what's supposed to. When Tacitus is born, the eagles and even the wild animals, beautiful animals in the north, they sense what? They sense the birth of the Prince of Xenos. Something cool like that. like something like Lion King, right? Not like Lion King. It's different than Lion King. Lion King, they're animals, but like you have something similar like that for Takis' birth. He was like, holy shit, you're creative. I think that's pretty cool. They'll say, I'm like, yeah, Peter, that's pretty cool. Ivan, you're fucking creative, man. Holy shit, man. Like, you know your shit. Yeah, I do, man. I was born with a gift, Peter. I'm not as intelligent as you, Peter, but I'm very, very creative. Because Peter's obviously smarter than me. He was able to adapt Lord of the Rings into the big screen. I can never adapt a book like Lord of the Rings to the big screen. I'm too stupid for that. Lord of the Rings is too complicated for me. Whereas Zayas is my baby. I know what I'm doing because I wrote the book, and I'm very creative. I was born with a gift, man. I know how to tell a good story, man. And that's why Zayas would be the best story ever told in Motion Picture, man. Yeah, man. Best story ever told in Motion Picture, man. And then once Tactius is born, once Tactius is born, once Tactius is born, they have this party, obviously. Tactius talks to the eagles. He's like, Forge, he's like, Watchers of the North, do you hear your king? You know what I'm saying? And they're like, we hear you, sire. You know what I'm saying? Why have you called on us, O king? You know what I'm saying? He's like, make haste to Saphius. Make haste to the south for Saphius. Make haste to the south to Saphius. You know what I'm saying? Tell him that the king of Zain sent you. Have them forge a sword for my son, a gift for the prince, my son. Something like that, right? As you command, your highness. And the eagles fly to the south, and that's when Cornelius' father and all of them forged a sword for Tactius the second as a gift, obviously. A gift for Tactius, obviously. Look at a masterpiece. And after that, you get this gliding shot. Hey, Peter, I'm thinking of a gliding shot. It transfers to the south, obviously. It transfers to the south. You get this, the sun, though. The party happens and the sun sets, obviously, and it's now full moon in the south. You get this gliding shot past the cursed sky, obviously, atmospheric sky in the south, through the forest, obviously, and you're in Barak. You know what I'm saying? You're in Barak, and that's where all the demon wolves live. And now for me, it's pregnant with Faful. You get the birth of Faful, and when Faful is born, you have this like demonic animal ritual in Barak when he's born. Whereas Tactius, when he's born, you have a celebration in the castle, but it's something like remember in Return of the King in the beginning remember in Return of the King when what? When Aragorn and all of them were drinking their ale, and then Gimli had that drinking competition with Legolas. They have a celebration. Think of something like that for the banquet hall celebration for Tactius. You know, so whereas Aratat celebrations in Barak, and the animals eat meat and they drink blood and all stuff. Yeah, you look at the best story ever told in Motion Picture. Yeah, man. You hear people like, yeah, Ivan, I can picture all the scenes in my mind, man. Your movie will be the best like movie trilogy ever made. Yeah, and that's why Peter will work harder for me in my movie than he did for Lord of the Rings, because I pay more money. It's his movie. Peter, Zayas is your baby just as much as Lord of the Rings is your baby. It's your baby. You know what I'm saying? Care for your baby, obviously. Yeah. Yeah, man. Obviously. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When the fans ask Peter, Peter, what's the difference between Zayn and Lord of the Rings? He'll be like, guys, I don't want to compare Lord of the Rings with Ivan Zayn's movie. But Peter Jackson's not stupid. You're right, but yeah, if Ivan adapts the movie to the big screen, Zayn's will be a better movie than fucking my Lord of the Rings movie. Yes, it will be, man. It'll be better by a slim margin. Because Zayn's is a better story than Lord of the Rings. You see what I'm saying? And don't forget, me and Peter and John Favreau and Filoni will be following like 80% of the story. Adding 20% of details, dialogues, and making a few different changes. That's it. People are like, yeah, Ivan, all we have to do is just follow your story. If you follow your story, you'll get an amazing movie. Yeah, if you follow my story, you'll get an amazing movie. You're not gonna get a bad movie. You're gonna get a masterpiece of a movie, man. Something like the Bible, man. Yeah, man. It's a masterpiece of a story. But guaranteed Peter Jackson, I found Ivan's latest movie a lot more easier to follow, a lot more easier to adapt. Whereas Lord of the Rings book is very, very difficult to adapt. I had to cut a lot of characters, a lot of dialogue, a lot of scenes, a lot of lands. I had to cut out a lot of stuff. Whereas for Ivan's movie, we didn't have to cut out any characters. I don't have to cut out any characters for my movie. I don't have to cut out any characters for my movie, you see what I'm saying? I don't have to cut out any characters for my movie. Obviously. The only characters I can see cutting out are like the minor characters of Francis, Cleo, and Sebastian. You can cut out those characters if you want. But they're the Seldons who escaped the Landmarkies and Cyrus. I don't want to cut those characters out because they contribute a little to the plot. No, I can't cut them out. because they contribute to the plot. Yeah, all my characters contribute a little bit to the plot, man. And that's why I'm Peter. I don't want you cutting out any characters in my fucking book, man. I want all the characters in my book to be in a movie, as they all contribute to the plot. Yeah, I have no worry about it. I won't do what I did for Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, I had no choice. I had to cut out a lot of stuff because Jared Tolkien has so much going on. His book's so fucking long. Yeah, my book is only will only be like a 600-page book. 580, 570, 600-page book. My book, 620-page. My book will be. It's just not as long as Lord of the Rings, but it's longer than the whole Fellowship of the Ring book. And Fellowship of the Ring is a long book. I remember when I read it, it took me a long time to finish the book. Fellowship of the Ring is a long fucking book, and yet Xaius is longer than Fellowship of the Ring. It's a long book, man. You see what I'm saying? It's a long fucking book. Yeah, man. Hence why we have to carefully write the script, obviously. Right. So let's talk about the casting, obviously. So I won't have to worry about the Lord of the Rings crewmen quitting halfway while they're working, because what? Quitting halfway while they're working because what? Because I paid them the rich 150K, whereas some Lord of the Rings crewmen in Lord of the Rings I heard quit. Some of the lighting crewmen quit, yeah, because the money wasn't worth the labor, obviously. Whereas 150K is worth the labor, because you're getting, people don't make that in this world. Most people make their 60K a year. And these guys are getting their nice, like, I don't know, they're getting a nice, I don't know, $2,000 check every 2 weeks, $1,900 check every 2 weeks. These crewmen are going to work hard. They can do good things with that money, man. Buy the nice used cars, buy a nice $100,000 house, $200,000 house. They can take their family on a nice vacation. They can feed their families for what? For a year and a half. They're going to work hard. And I gave them a $2,000 gift card, which is their bonus. If the crewmen get cocky and they want, like, if the crewmen get cocky and they, Ivan, are you going to give us a bonus? I'm like, guys, your $2,000 gift card is your bonus, as you're never going to make this bonus anywhere else. And most companies, when they give people bonuses, they give them like $500 bonuses. I'm giving you a $2,000 gift card. That's good enough for a fucking average crewman. You're not getting shit. If you try to get a piece of royalties, you're not worth it. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting shit. Barry Osborne's not getting shit. And Fran, if she's hired, she's not getting any of the royalties. You're my assistant producers. I'll pay you rich, I don't know, $50,000. It's a good paycheck for them. Pay them a nice $80,000 whether they work hard for you, but that's all you're getting. You're not getting a piece of the profits. You're not my stars. You're an assistant producer. Yeah, but you're giving Guillermo del Toro. You're giving Guillermo del Toro a piece of profits. Yes, Guillermo del Toro is my assistant director. Assistant directors are more important than assistant producers. You're just helping out the 17 with business. Guillermo del Toro is helping out Peter Jackson with a directing job. And he's also pretty big in Hollywood. That's why I'm giving him a small piece of the profit, 0.01. It'll make us nice, I don't know, $5 million royalties. It's a good paycheck for Guillermo del Toro. You see what I'm saying? That's a good paycheck. Yes, let's talk about the casting. So for the actor, for the role of Cornelius, I'm thinking the Amer actor. I'll find out what his name is. I don't know what his name is. I'm thinking the Amer actor and the Anunzo guy from Zoo. I think those two guys, have them fight for the role. Something tells me I'm going to end up choosing the Amer actor, because he did Lord of the Rings and he probably has a better accent for the movie. He had a beautiful accent from Amer in Lord of the Rings, obviously, and he did a sword movie like Lord of the Rings. But if he is chosen, I'll have him beef up for the role a bit more. He's a pretty jacked dude, obviously. I want him beefed up more. I want you to beef up more for the role. I'm going to have my nutritionist give him a training schedule and have him beef up for the role of Cornelius, obviously. That actor, I'll pay him $4.5 million for the role. The Emerald. That's a good paycheck for him. He doesn't make that in Hollywood. He probably makes, like, I don't know, $1 million for the boys. $900K, $800K for the boys. $1 million for the boys. Pay him $4.5 million. Nice paycheck. It's a couple $1 million. A nice, like, I don't know, $1.8 million check in his bank, $1.78 million check in his bank after taxes and rates, and his age. That's a good paycheck for him. And you give him 0.01% of profits, which is a nice $5 million. It's a nice paycheck for the Amer actor, as he'll never make that kind of money in Hollywood, see what I'm saying? As for Lord of the Rings, he probably made like $150K for fucking the role of Amer, for Return of the King in Two Towers, and he's destroyed the role. Well, I can only imagine how hard it worked for me, because I paid more money. He's going to destroy the role of Cornelius, obviously. Mary's left to be, right? I spoiled the story for you. So him and Danielle Minette will have a sex scene in the movie, obviously, if he's chosen. They're going to be lovers in the movie, obviously. Because Mary and Cornelius have become lovers on stuff. Obviously. He'll be playing the role of the captain of the blacksmiths. And he's Eli's right-hand man. He's second in command in Safius, obviously. He's second in command. He's Eli's right-hand man. And he's the captain of the blacksmiths, obviously. Obviously, right? Yeah, I'm thinking those two. Those two are going to fight for the role. I'll pay the Anunzo actor $3 million, and I'll give him 0.01% of the profits. It's a good paycheck for him, as he probably made $400K for Zoo, $500K for Zoo as a biggest actor. Pay him $3 million. I know he works hard for you, and give him 0.01% of the profits. It's a good paycheck for him. The actor who was Saul in Homeland, you can pay him $3 million for the role. $3 million, 3.5. You can even pay him. He did Homeland. Homeland was a pretty big show. You can pay him a nice $3 million. $3 million is good enough. Pay him $3 million. He's a beast actor. He's not that big. He does television. Pay him $3 million for the role of the grumpy Sirius, who'll play the role of Papyri's grumpy's foster parent, obviously. And he's a farmer. I can picture him as a farmer. I can picture him as a grumpy old man. He's grumpy, and he was a grumpy man in Homeland. That's why he's perfect for Sirius. Hey, Peter, what do you think of this guy? This guy in Homeland for the role of Sirius. He's grumpy. He has that grumpy look, you know what I'm saying? He kind of looks like John Rhys Davies. Ivan, he's perfect. He's perfect for Sirius. Ivan, like, all the actors you chose are, like, perfect for the role. Yeah. Okay, Ivan, you're choosing a lot of my Lord of the Rings actors for your movie. Yeah, Peter, I think having a Lord of the Rings reunion is cool. You have Andy Serkis, Viggo Mortensen, you have the Amber actor, you have a Lord of the Rings reunion going on. You have John Rhys Davies or Bernard Hill. That's his name, Bernard Hill. You know what I'm saying? You have a Lord of the Rings reunion. You have a Stars reunion, a Victorious reunion, and you have what? You have a Stars reunion. You have a Stars reunion, yeah. Obviously. You also have a Marvel reunion too. As Idris Elba was in Marvel, and Don Cheadle was in Marvel. But I might choose Viggo Mortensen over Don Cheadle. You never know, man. I'm gonna have Don Cheadle and Viggo fight for the role, man. Okay, Viggo, Don, you're gonna have to fight for the role. Obviously. Hey Peter, what do you think of having Viggo Mortensen as a captain of the Blacksmiths? I remember him in Fellowship of the Ring. He had that black robe, the Ranger. You can have him have this robe as a captain of the Blacksmiths, and he has this like white hair and this white beard. He's a badass fucking archer. He's a captain of the archers. Captain. So Maramis is a captain of the archers and the wall guards. He's not the general of the army. No, Cassius is the general of the army, the entire army. Cassius is the general of the entire 15,000 Zane army, archers and melee fighters included, whereas Maramis is only the captain of like the 2,500 archers. So you can have Viggo Mortensen play the role of the captain of the archers. He's a northern, he's a badass fighter. Except you're not going to see Viggo Mortensen fighting with a sword. He's going to be fighting with his bow and arrow. He used a bow and arrow in Fellowship of the Ring. He's good. Ivan, watch through Orlando Bloom does not have that Maramis look. He has that boyish young look. He's not good for the movie. He's too young. Orlando Bloom's only in his early 40s. By the time he'll be like 47. He's too young. The actor for Maramis is an older dude. He's like in his 50s. 50s, 60s. He's an older dude. He's an experienced, youthful archer. When Tacius is born, Maramis is like 30 years old, man. He's an older dude. When he's 30 years old, Maramis is all of a sudden like in his 60s. That's why Viggo Mortensen is perfect for the role of Maramis, as well as Don Cheadle, because they're all Viggo Mortensen's in his early 60s. He'll be like 67, 68 by the time he films the movie. He's still strong. He'll be fine. And Don Cheadle will be like 64 when he films the movie. They're all like in their 60s. That's why they're good for the role of Maramis, obviously. I'll match Viggo's offer with what? I'll match Viggo's offer with Don Cheadle's. I'll pay Viggo $10 million for his salary. Obviously, he gets his commercial money, obviously, and the perks, obviously. And I'll give him 0.2% of the profits. Which is a good... It depends how much... If my movie grosses more, he'll make more money, obviously. He'll make... If my movie grosses, like... If 1.5 billion people buy movies, Viggo Mortensen's going to make, like, 11 million in royalties. If like, a billion people buy it, Viggo Mortensen will make, like, his 8 million, 7, 8 million royalties. He signed, like, a 17, 18 million dollar deal. He's going to walk away with a good, like, I don't know, 8 million in his bank after taxes and the rates. It's a fat check for Viggo Mortensen. Yeah, a nice $8 million check in his bank. More money than what he made for Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, he only made probably $1 million, $1.5 million around there. For the movie around there, right? I heard Viggo got more than Elijah. I heard Viggo got about the same amount of money as Elijah Wood or a bit more. He got maybe $1 million, $1.3 million maybe for the movie, for the 3 movies. Because he was more established than the other actors. Whereas all the other actors got their shitty money, obviously. Obviously, right? So Viggo Mortensen destroyed the role of what? Of Aragorn in Lord of the Rings, and he got his shittier money, obviously, and he got shittier food. He was a dirty slave, and he worked his ass off, and he's destroyed the role. You can only imagine how much harder he'll work for me. I paid him his $10 million. His $10 million. He got his like what? He got his what? He got his like $7 million, $8 million in royalties. $9 million in royalties he got. I don't know, $8.8 million in royalties he got. He made a good, like, I don't know, $7.5 million plus after taxes, the age and the rates. A nice $7.5 million, $7.8 million check in his bank after taxes. Viggo Mortensen made for my movie. He'll work hard, man. He'll work really, really hard. Most likely $8 million he'll make. He'll make about like $8 million around there, right? No, about 7.6, 7.8 million around there. If he makes 21 million, he'll make around 8. If he makes like 18, he'll make around 7.5, 7.6 million after taxes in his bank. He's 7.5 million richer after the movie. He'll work hard. He got a fat check in the bank, man. A rich fucking paycheck. He signed a massive contract. Yeah, man. As in Hollywood, on average, he probably makes $3 million for his movies. Because Viggo Mortensen isn't that big. He's a small ace actor, but he's not that big. After Lord of the Rings, he hasn't really done any big movies. He did Hidalgo. Hidalgo flopped, obviously. Don't hate me, Viggo, obviously. He did Hidalgo, obviously. He did History of Violence. History of Violence was a smaller blockbuster movie. And he did The Road. You know what I'm saying? He's doing another movie right now. He's not really that big, Viggo Mortensen. He had an okay career after Lord of the Rings, Viggo Mortensen. He's worth $30 million, so he obviously had a pretty good career, but like he's not that big. He's a small ace actor. That's why pay him he's worth a nice $10 million. Pay him $10 million. If he wants more money, I'm like, Viggo, you're not worth any more than $10 million, man. You're a small ace actor, but you're not as big as guys like I'm not going to give you I'm not going to give you any more than 0.2%, 0.02% of profits. That's good enough. Because you're worth $30 million, I'll pay you 0.02. You're still going to make your nice 8 to like 11 million in royalties around there, excluding your $10 million salary. You sign your what? You're like $21 million deal. You're going to walk away with a $7.5+ million check in your bank. It's a nice fucking paycheck for you. Why, it's a deal. Yes, I'm paying you a lot of money. And he'll work his ass off because he got paid his millions. You see what I'm saying? You're going to see how hard Don Cheadle and Viggo are going to fight for that job, man. They're going to really, really fight for that job. Because they want to work for me so bad. They want to be saved. They want to experience my Scottish company like Gran Turismo. They want to experience the perks, staying at suites, the parties in my condo, my 300 condo, my yacht. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the ad shoots, being featured in VJ on the ad shoots. The commercials. Yeah, they want to experience all that. The fame, the buzz of the actors, the world tour. All the actors are gonna get paid for the world tour. I'm gonna put this in the contract for the actors. Look, guys, if we get invited to a world tour, which we most likely will, don't worry, you guys will get compensated for it. I'm gonna charge the venues for speaking. You guys are gonna make your like if we speak at a good 50 places, you guys are gonna make your 100,000 plus in speaking fees, man. That's a nice paycheck. Yeah, man. And that's what my company's better in Hollywood. Whereas in Hollywood, they don't get paid for that stuff. Sometimes the actors might get paid for when they speak on their own. When they speak on their own, they charge the venues, obviously. But when they go invite to Comic-Con and all that stuff, they don't get paid for that. They speak for free. So my camera here.